Hello and welcome to episode 32. I'm just going to get straight into this one and then I'll recap at the end of the episode.
Right, so morning number 3, it's Saturday. I really need a shower, so I'm probably going to have to just go jump in the sea and then shower off afterwards. Although the neighbouring boat gave me their shower card from when they was in the closest port to here, which probably still works, so I do have that option. But today it's risky to leave the boat because it's the Saturday and the day that the strong wind is advertised. The thing with the strong wind is a boat I was talking to the other day, guy called Fabian, who I went and had lunch with, told me to check AROM, so the settings you've got at the bottom of windy, because that's the most precise. So I trust him and that's what I'm checking, and that yesterday was fairly accurate. So I'm hoping that's the same today. But if you check the other one that's not AROM, it's showing a lot stronger wind. But it was accurate yesterday and he definitely knows more about this than I do, so we're going to trust his judgment. If it's right, the 20 that's advertised won't be the end of the world if I went over to the side. I used to be terrified of anchoring in, you know, anything over 10, so this, although it's not going to be nice this 20 days or whatever it's going to be at anchor, by having to do it, at least it sets me up for the summer. But obviously I need things on the boat, so I've been up, had my coffee. I'm halfway through my have I? You know when you get a coffee and you think, I definitely don't remember drinking the whole thing, but I must have done because I don't see it anywhere. So yeah, we drank it. But yeah, I had the coffee and I've just gone to start the, and then during the night I woke up at about 2 and my phone bill, because I obviously had to buy food and stuff, my phone bill's actually not come out of the bank, which means I now don't have internet, which I'd always say it was really easy, but easy when there's people around, when you're sat on a boat and you can't just check the internet. And then I know as well people worried about me, so it is a bit not ideal. So whether I go over to land or not today to try and just let everyone know that I don't have internet, that might be what I have to do. Anyway, yeah, I've gone to start the engine because I was just going to get the laptop charged back up and it's run out of diesel, so I always leave a bit in the diesel jerry can, just, or whatever you call it, that yellow thing there, just to make sure that there's enough. So that's probably enough just to get into a port if I need it, so I can't use it to charge. But because the engine turned on, it will have used a lot of the battery, so while that's still hot, the engine from starting, I need to get it started again, just to charge the just to charge that battery back up, because if I let it go flat and cold now, not flat but cold, the engine, I won't get it started again because the battery will have dropped down to about 12.3 I reckon while I've done it, and it won't normally start from that. So while it's going to be like press start without having to like crank and crank and crank, I need to put the rest of that diesel in the tank, and then just, I can't use that to charge anymore, so that's the laptop out of the equation, and I'm just going to have to be sparing with GoPro batteries while I decide my next move. I knew it weren't going to be easy, so I was aware of that, but I'm looking at the days and yeah, it's going to be tough. But yeah, that's a bit of an update for this morning. Gonna get that in there quick because otherwise the engine won't start and then the battery will be flat, and that's another time of me having to go back over there. And especially today, if the wind does pick up, I need to be able to use the engine fairly quickly if I need to. So I've got... Alright, so that's charged up just enough now that we can cut it, and at least it will start again the next time. What we're going to do about charging anything now, I'm not too sure. That's the benefit to having a really shallow draft. There's a few in here. There's 2 Beneteau first 210s, which is like what that is. Quite cool little boats. But there's also a Sangria over there, and as far as I was aware, they still had fairly regular keels on them. You see them everywhere in France, Sangrias. They're everywhere. But yeah, you can see how shallow it is. And when I was just going past, you could see the water underneath. There's no more than a metre underneath that boat. In fact, it was shallower under there than it was where we are now. But yeah, can pull into more coves than the rest of us can. We're going over to land, so hopefully the boat's there when we get back. The wind's not due until about 3 anyway, so the issue is trying to get back to the boat when it's then really windy. But everything's flat, and my phone, yeah, as I say, phone building hasn't come out, and then I can't text or call either, so I'm gonna have to go connect to the internet just to at least tell everyone that that's happened. By everyone I mean maybe 4 people, but yeah. And yeah, hopefully next week we have a bit of sun, because it might be a little bit easier to manage this if it was sunny. But at the minute it's not. So yeah, we're going over, we're going to take this pump back and hope we can get my residency card back. But I'm going to go because I'm just drifting into these boats over here. Just to mention too, the other boat, the one that's just behind me, they're going to give me a lift. They've got the car, and also they've got some aluminium poles which they've got on the back of their boat to like keep like a bit of tarp. I don't know if it's a wind protection, but aluminium poles aren't the strongest thing, but at the same time I can't afford the 500 minimum it's going to be to buy a used arch for the back. So I am gonna have to add more solar and battery, and I think my solar panel, as I say, is broke. I think I charged the solar panel, so I did the opposite. I was sending the energy back up to the sun somehow. But yeah, because in theory I should be able to be out, and yeah, I won't be able to run the laptop all day, but I should be able to charge my phone and everything else quite easily. Yeah, we're a way off being able to charge everything, and it's something to consider if you're looking at getting a boat and you're looking at a small one and how much batteries you'd be able to fit in, etc. If you're going to want to be able to work remotely on it and not be in a port, it's fine if you're in a port, you can plug in, but if you're not in a port and you want to be able to use your laptop and stuff, that's going to require a lot of solar and a lot of battery power. So yeah, I think we're going to go with the maximum we're probably going to be able to get is 300, but for now we're going to add 200. So we're probably going to have to buy 2 new solar panels, which is going to be about 200 euros, and to have 2 we're going to have to buy a solar controller that will take 2, and then we're going to see what happens if we try float charge that battery when we get chance, because that's 171 and we threw the last one away back in Saint-Tropez because we just assumed it was broken. If we can rescue it, great, but we're probably going to need more battery than we have as well. But we're definitely going to keep the one for the engine separate, that just charges off the engine, because I think that's the best way to have it. So that's the plan for the end of the month. So not the usual setting, I'm on land. I'm just outside of it's called the Media Tech, so it's like a library. The guys on the SV Rihanna, Florence and Maria, I think. I'm terrible with names, and they might watch this and think you've just got our names wrong, but I think that's the names. I asked them this morning where do they go, because they've been here over a month, if they need to like get some work done on the laptop or whatever, and they said the library's the best bet. So I've been in and asked, and yeah, it's as simple as I can go, plug the laptop in, sit down, and there's no price or anything. and I can use the internet. So on a day like today where it's just raining, and it's better probably just to get off the boat, because you know, when it's sunny and it's like that, you sit outside, you got a bit of sun, jump off, have a swim. But on a day like today where it's raining and it's a bit miserable, it's better just to get off and at least get something done, because I'd be sitting around all day thinking how much I can't do. And then when I'll get connected to the internet, I'll see if I can find a solution to get my phone internet turned back on. Although even if I can, the lack of diesel I've got at the minute will prevent me from being able to charge it. But it's the 20th, like I say, so got a bit longer to go, but we'll see how we get on. But I'm going to go inside and get a bit done on the laptop, probably upload some of these videos. So we're just sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. I'm joking, I was just going to go with a song. We're sat just on the dock, you see behind me. It's next to actually a really loud road, like you get quite a lot of noise from the road on a night time, but this is the place where I'm anchored indefinitely. Anyway, been to the library all day really, just trying to clear the laptop of some of my GoPro footage because it was taking too much room up. And I woke up this morning and didn't realise that I weren't going to have internet. I thought my phone bill had come out and it hadn't at the start of the month, so now my phone is cut off until I can pay it at the end of the month. So what was already a tough task is now an even tougher task. But yeah, I said wasting time at the start of the video because that probably is what I'm doing, but there's a reason for it. So I said earlier, like, I got off the boat because it was raining. There's no electric on the boat, I can't turn any lights on, there's no hot water, but we know that, we're not that bothered about that. And yeah, then there was no internet, so the one thing I was doing quite a bit of was editing videos. So now I just sat here for a bit, putting off going back to the boat, which might sound bad in a way, but when I get back over there I'm aware that it's tin chilly for tea, and then a couple of hours in the darkness before falling asleep. So yeah, it's going to be tough. But my whole walk back from the library, I was thinking about it and thinking about not really looking forward to getting back on the boat. But if I want to obviously cross the Atlantic at the end of the year, which I know you think I can't even sail like 20 kilometers at the minute, but if I want to do that at the end of the year, I'm not going to be able to get off the boat. So these hardships and the hard bits that I'm doing now might actually work in my favour. And I was thinking about some of the YouTube channels I've watched when I was doing this, and just how many of them like sail down to the Med, which I'm sure in itself is like a big thing to do. It's further than I've ever sailed, but I'm pretty sure a lot of the time there is this plan to cross an ocean, and quite often some of the sailing channels I've watched there's more than one person, so you know, their difficult times are shared. Is the best way I'd put it. But you know, tonight and tomorrow and for most of the last 7 months I've been as on my own as I've ever been, and having to do this bit at anchor now on my own with no electric, the diesel, we don't have enough of that to charge the laptop anymore. So I've got a few books, and I think I charged a Kindle just before, so I can read, but honestly there's only so much reading you can fill your day doing. And yeah, you know, I'm not at work. I did a little bit of work at the library today. I do a little bit of logo design where I can, so I did a bit of that today. So if you need a logo, give me a shout. But did a bit of that today. But yeah, these hard bits where it is hard, and I am putting off going back to the boat, and I'm, you know, the next week most of it's raining, so we don't have the part where at least it's sunny during the day and we jump off, have a spearfish or whatever. It's going to be raining, it's not going to be fun, and
you know, we don't have the luxury of just going into town and going for a pizza or a beer. We are on there, and we've got to see it through until we can get the boat taken out of the water at the end of the month. But as part of the motivation to do that, and while I'm on about getting the boat taken out of the water at the end of the month, is I think once we've got that done and we've sorted this generator out and we've sorted the solar panels and the battery, if we can struggle through the last half of this month, then, you know, it's better at the beginning of next month to invest that money in the things I need and then go struggle a little bit less for the second half of next month. But if there's a window to cross to Corsica next month, I should just maybe try it. And I know it's not as simple as just trying it, but if I've got everything working, I know enough how to sail, and if I do that, it's the first big thing where it's not just hopping around town to town and then going into the town and like going to the pub or whatever. I'll have done a fairly big sail over there. I can then explore the parts over there. So if I do that, you know, if I end up having to spend a chunk of the money I've got at the start of the month before heading over there, if then the second half of the month is a bit of a struggle, I could in theory be doing it in Corsica, having done my first like proper passage, because I think a good boat's getting over there in 24 hours and I'm on my own, so it's not going to be easy, and I probably will try and invest at least in a used autopilot before I go over there. But if I do that, then maybe that's the kickstart then to head over towards Gibraltar before the winter. And I'm still unsure whether this boat I'd be confident enough in it, or if the amount of work I'd have to do to this one, I'd be better off doing that to another one. But for now, rather than getting caught up on like all these imperfections and if I need to do them, otherwise I'd lose the money I've got in the boat, if I did want to sell it to get another one, do that crossing over to Corsica, and maybe that's the kickstart I need. And as I say, these hard bits maybe is what will make me ready to go sail across the Atlantic, because already this far into it I've spent 7 months on my own, so it's not like being out there I'm gonna feel any more lonely than I do at the minute, because something I've said quite a lot, maybe not in this video but to people, is you sometimes feel a bit lonelier when you're walking around in a place but don't know anyone. Because when I'm on the boat on my own, I'm supposed to be on the boat and I'm in the sea and there's no one there. So when I'm then walking around in a town and feel like you see normal life going on around you, but you're not really part of that, not just because of the boat, but because of the job I've just done for the last 11 years and coming out the other end of it and the situation I'm then in. So yeah, that's one thing. When I'm out there for however many months, if I did do it, or when I do it, I'll be prepared for that. And then having to have these struggles now where stuff isn't working and I'm having to like spend my time doing nothing, I'm gonna have to do quite a lot of that too. So I'm trying to see this being stuck at anchor, and I am stuck at anchor. There's not really much I can do, so I don't really have an alternative at the minute other than to do what I'm doing. And even if I didn't want to do what I was doing and it was too hard, I don't have an easy alternative to put the boat somewhere and just go back to the UK or go do a similar job to the one I've done before. Like, I wouldn't be able to afford to keep the boat in a port. So I want to do it, so I aren't saying that I don't want to do it, but I'm saying if I didn't, I don't really have an alternate anyway. So what I need to do is just embrace these hard bits that I'm doing now, and then, as I say, some of the channels I've watched on YouTube that get to the Mediterranean, have a bit of a good time down here, but then that's it. Maybe this is what would set apart from that, because I'll feel a bit more prepared to go across. That's what I'm thinking. I know you lot probably think I'm crazy and I'm never going to sail across an ocean. Well, no, I think some of you would have faith. Or not faith in my current ability, but faith in my current stupidity. No, not stupidity, but faith in my I don't know what's the word. A friend always tells me that I'm quite resilient, and you know, I always take it with a pinch of salt. But if I'd have thought back a few years ago or even a few months ago, that I'd have to sit on my boat and not talk to anyone, and some of the things that I've had to do, I wouldn't have chose to do them. But because they've happened and then I have to do them, I've done them. So yeah, maybe this will give me the resilience to do it. It's a good word, that, innit? Resilience. And on that note, I'm gonna stop sitting on the dock of the bay wasting time, and I'm gonna go back to the boat, and I'm gonna have my tin chilli, and I'm gonna try and enjoy it, and I might just cook some rice because it's still light, and I just make excuse to not cook rice and eat the cold chili when I could just cook it, and it might be a bit better than it would be if I eat it cold. I'm just recording this in public, so but yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Wonder if my neighbour boat is... no, it's not back yet. And that's another thing I'd like to say. I was in the car with them to the library, and I was saying to them, I don't like getting the camera out when like there's other people there, because I feel like I'd be forcing them to... and you know, I should just ask, because they might be quite happy to. They said they watched my fixing engine episode last night and enjoyed it, so I should just ask. But I was in the back of the car with them, and I was literally saying, I've watched sailing channels before on YouTube, and then someone ends up in the back of some stranger's car and you think, did that happen? Well, it does happen, because yeah, they gave me a lift to the library earlier, and they're actually bringing me some aluminium poles back, and fittings, which might be able to make a solar arch out of, albeit it's going to be a bit of a makeshift one, but we might be able to make it strong enough, so that'll be an interesting thing to show you. But yeah, I've recorded 11 minutes now, and I keep telling myself to stop doing it, but I've got to a point now where the people who watch it haven't ever said stop talking so much, Jay. So if you do want me to, I probably won't be able to, but let me know what you think in the comments below. And I'm going back to the boat, and yeah, I've got to be careful with GoPro batteries too, so that's why I need to not talk so much, but because I'm not sure how or when I'm going to be able to charge them again. Tomorrow's Sunday, so that's going to be a full day on the boat because the library won't be open, but the library might have become one of my new favourite places. Like, I get to go in there, and a French library compared to an English library, they have it good in there. You can go in and play PlayStation if you want. I mean, I didn't want to do that, but the option's there if you wanted to. You don't have to pay anything. I didn't have to sign up. Went in with my laptop, plugged it in. The internet connection was really good. It's the first time I've watched one of my own YouTube videos, because I sometimes put the premiere on and then I watch it too to check there's no mistake and I don't have to quickly pull it off, but or that I've left anything incriminating anywhere. I don't know why I say that. There's nothing incriminating on the boat, but yeah, it's the first time I got to watch it with a really good connection in more than like 360, what is it, 360, whatever it is, 360. You've got the options, and I always upload them in like the highest one I can, but I've never seen one of them in the highest one I can. Maybe it's not a bad thing, but anyway, back to the boat I go. So today's one meal of the day. We have chili, and then we did do it. We did cook some rice. I haven't been able to cook rice right for ages. I'm normally alright at cooking rice. I don't know if that just gets a bit too hot. It's not bad. It's not bad rice, but I used to be a master at cooking rice. So yeah, we're using our one size fits all gas hob, and yeah, we don't have much daylight left. Considering we were thinking like some super strong winds were coming today, the sea's just really flat. That can get off now. Okay. Well, we're rationing ourselves to, I'd like to say 1 glass a night, maybe 2, but it's the cheapest wine you can get, honestly. It's like €2.50 for like 1.5 litres, so it's wine in it. So, yeah. So that's probably me for the day. Kindle's got a bit of battery. I'm going to eat this. I just checked before to see if the hammock was dry, and it is, so I might just lay out there for a little bit with a Kindle and a wine. But yeah, I'm going to have my tea now, and then, you know, if I can get it so I'm waking up when it's light as well, that would really help with all of this, because, you know, I can get up then and get on and do stuff when it's light. I just can't do much when it's dark. So yeah, that's that. Right, I'm hungry. I've not eaten all day, so in a bit. Why have I just said that? So yeah.
Okay, so thanks for watching. Yeah, I'm just going to end this video with obviously a thanks, but just to kind of explain what was going on at the time. I'd like spent all the money I had on getting enough food to survive for the upcoming days. It was cloudy, and the the house batteries still weren't working. So my days were spent pretty much a lot of the time getting up, putting my stuff in the bag, rowing over with one oar to the to the side, and sometimes, most days, maybe go to the library, because I just go sit in and edit the videos. So back then I was still editing the videos from when I was in Cannes. And yeah, that's what I was quite busy doing. That's the point where I uploaded quite a few videos quite consecutively. I was trying to give myself a bit of a boost, to be honest, because I was sat at anchor, and recently I've met someone who's not in a much different situation to me, really. The boat they actually have is, when I got this boat, it's one I was looking at before. I never actually went and visited the boat, but it come up on Marketplace, and then it ended up being, because it was the boat I had before this, it was like 3 places down in the pontoon I was in like a couple of years ago. And I saw it this is in the same anchorage, but this is like a month later from where you are in the video now. And I thought, is that boat? And I got talking to him. And I'd say the difference is we're both doing the same thing. He was telling me the other day how, like, the fact that I've been out here while all the big boats have, well, not really anybody hardly has. And this will all be coming up in upcoming videos, because we obviously get into summer and stuff. But whenever I'd look over at him, I'd see like, whenever I like look on his boat, I always feel like he's at peace with all of this, and I'm not, and I sometimes don't know how to be. If I'd go, you know, things have happened over the last year. I don't obviously go into a lot of stuff, but I myself, I really struggle to have peace with just, you know, me sitting on a boat, and, you know, passing whole days sometimes is really hard. And the reason I'm bringing this up now at the end of this video is because today, actually, in real time, I'm in a port, obviously months later, because this video is back from like the 20th of May, and it's now in real time the 25th of August. So June, July, you know, 3 months has passed since then. And today is the first day in a long time, in real time, where I, you know, I've been able to sit and edit some videos and stuff, and it takes my mind off everything else. But when you sat at anchor with no battery power, no power in the house batteries, and even when I then I don't want to spoil it, but even then, when I do have power in the batteries, you know, I'm not able to do the things that people are regularly doing to, you know, pass time, and it's trying to get used to that. It's not that easy. I've said before. Um, so yeah, on them days where I would go to the library, and then the library obviously closes, and I used to remember the library closing and me thinking, because then it was back, and I'd spend a lot of time sat on that dock that's obviously in the video, and quite a lot of time contemplating, and I probably spent more time than the average person contemplating because I don't have the normal distractions that, like today, for example, I had to cancel like the last boat trip that I had booked. But yeah, we'll get into all of that stuff later on in the videos. But today, honestly, I just didn't want to. I didn't want to think. I'm trying to work out which way to go, etc., etc. And other stuff that's happening in real time. Um, and the easiest distraction is to just put something on that you don't even really want to be watching much. And yeah, I've spent months on end not being able to do that. So, you know, thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. And yeah, it's, you know, I said in the last video, I wondered how people had seen it. So when I'm actually recording this, I won't have actually seen the comments yet. So I am doing this a little bit backwards. But I just wanted to like explain, because when I've stopped recording there, and you know, saying I'm the same as the episode before, it, you know, it's, I'd try eat as late as possible sometimes, so it was still giving me something to look forward to, I guess. But then I weren't, you know, I weren't eating things that I was looking forward to eating, and obviously spending some time with this couple as well. I'd look at how they're doing it, and you know, for every decision that needs to be made, there's two of them. It's a discussion, whereas all my discussions a lot of the time are going on just up here. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because you know, I want this channel to be, I say it all the time, honest, and that's part of it. But when I'm picking the camera if I'm filming, I'm not saying that every time. But yeah, obviously I'm not going to give everything away. Obviously I survived staying at anchor, but you know, it was still fairly cold back then. Didn't have any batteries, and I knew I had quite a lot of days to get through of that being my routine. Get up, go to the library, come back. Um, and there'd be days where I'd, you know, upload videos onto YouTube, and there's quite a few of the episodes around that time they just didn't really get any views, or and then it was like, why are you coming here every day and doing this? So, but at the same time, some did do quite well with views, but it was just a bit of a strange time, really. I couldn't really go anywhere, um, and I was just sitting it out at anchor. But anyway, there'll be more sitting it out at anchor in the next video. But in the next video, we do start to get some stuff fixed. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.